Today I want to talk about ordering wine in a restaurant. Seems to be a very intimidating thing for a lot of people, and a lot of it just comes out of uncertainty of what they're ordering or what they can order or making mistakes, all these types of things. So I'm going to give you some quick tips just to make it simple, especially at the beginning stage. It's very good if you already know the grape varietals and some that you like or don't like. That way you can kind of look down the list and say, oh, Cabernet Sauvignon, I like that. Chardonnay, I don't like that, or whatever it happens to be. If you see them on there and you recognize them, that's always a good starting place. Now the other thing too, of course, people are concerned about price. Well, expect to pay more in a restaurant. If you go out for breakfast, you're going to pay a lot more for bacon and eggs and toast than you would if you made them at home. That's just part of eating out. So similarly, wine is usually in a restaurant marked up to double the shelf price or even triple or someplace in between. Good example, I was in a restaurant a while back, a couple months ago, and I saw two wines, both of which I recognized. Well, one of them I knew to be, let's just call it 10 units on the shelf, and on the menu they were selling it for 30, 3 times the price if I were to go and buy it in the store myself. Well, the next one above it was selling for, in the restaurant, $40. So, oh gee, pay 30 or pay 40? Well, the thing is, with the $40 bottle, I happen to know that that one retailed for under $20. So they hadn't even doubled the price on that one, just a little bit under double. And so that was very much the better value. In fact, it was also a much better wine, even though it was only one notch up from the cheapest. So that's something to keep in mind. You very rarely want to order the cheapest wine, because you're not going to get your money's worth. You're going to be paying more for lesser wine. Okay, now that said, again, you kind of look at the pricing if that's a concern to you, and the varietals, and then also consider what you're going to have for dinner. If you and whoever you're with are all having kind of the same thing, or all having steaks, for example, then you definitely want to order red. If there's enough people, you might also consider ordering 2 bottles, one for the white drinkers, one for the red drinkers. You might have part of the white with a salad course if you're having that, and then I'll have reds later. There's lots of ways to change it up. Now, something else to keep in mind if you're trying to impress someone. I know it's a big thing. I don't try to impress people anymore. I figure if they're not impressed with me off the shelf, out of the box, I don't care. But sometimes there's something to be said there to kind of get that little shine on the shoes there. So if you're not real sure about it, your best bet is to ask the waiter or your wine steward and call them over and say, well, I'm kind of torn. I like this one. And what you do is you hold up the menu. I'm going to pretend this is a menu here. And hold up the menu and say, well, I really like this one. But you're not pointing to the wine, you're pointing to the price over here. And you ask them, could you recommend something that would go well similar to that and emphasize the price, and that would go with whatever you're having for dinner? So, that would go well with steak, for example. And if your server is smart, and most of them are pretty good at picking up on this, they'll say, oh yes, you might want to try this one right here. It might be a little bit above, a little bit below, but someplace in the range, and it should be about the same price. And that would be their recommendation for what you're having for food, and it's also in your price range that way. So that's kind of a sneaky way to get around the boss, the future in-laws, or whoever it is that you're trying to impress, or even friends. So, or date, that's another one. You're out on a date with somebody and you want to look impressive and you don't know what you're talking about. Well, that's kind of a way around that. So there's a lot of things to consider. It's not really that hard to do. You just go into a restaurant and you look it over. Every time you're in a restaurant, whether you're having wine or not, look at the wine list. If you're at work and you're just out for lunch, you go to a place that has wine, you're not going to drink at lunch when you're at work. If that's your rule, then say, yeah, can I see the wine list? I want to just kind of look it over, or maybe if I come back at dinner time. And they're always more than happy to give it to you. So, hopefully those tips that helped you out. If you did learn something about wine menus, wine lists, go ahead and give me a thumbs up there. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. In the meantime, I want to say thank you for watching, and cheers.